Hello, hello. Welcome everybody to the weekly horoscope for July 17th, where this week I will tell you guys it is a busy, energetic week. We've got days that it's like they're packed days, and Wednesday and Thursday we have a little bit of a break energetically, but it is a busy week. So we have plenty to talk about. I'm also going to clear up the confusion that we had about the nodes changing signs because we're talking about two different things, but as of this week, both of the nodes are going to be, everything has switched into that Aries Libra energy. So we're going to have a look and a chat around about that. And I apologize, you're not getting me in video form, you're getting me in live form. I wanted to spice it up for you guys this week a little and record with some Spanish background so you could see the scenery and all of that good stuff. And at 110 degrees, my computer was absolutely not interested in that. So So we're going to do this week live, and I'll probably record when it's a little bit cooler in the week before so that you have your horoscope on Saturday. All right, before we jump in, please click in the description box down below and take advantage of getting registered for the Astrological Association Hybrid Conference that is coming in October. You can come in residence, in person, come online. I will be there in London speaking live, teaching a couple classes with our soulmates that are in London. So whether you're coming in person or online, I would love to see you. Get signed up down below, okay? All right, my absolutely beautiful friends, into the week we go. Let's see what is going on. Now, right away, as we're coming into this week on the 17th, we've got Mercury in a square to Jupiter. So we've got this conversation going, and I really do think, depending on where you are in the world, you may actually be feeling the energy of Mercury Jupiter late on Sunday, right? Well through the day on Monday, because when we have Mercury and Jupiter squaring each other, we've got the smaller mind challenging or squaring or pushing against the bigger mind, right? So we have this difference in energy that is like, oh, Jupiter's that bigger mind energy, and it says, well, I want world peace. I want to move to this place. I want to do this thing. It's a very big picture kind of energy, but it is Mercury that is in the details, that smaller mind that says, okay, but what are the steps of how we're going to actually get that done, Jupiter? We're going to need a little plan if we're going to be going someplace. So you've got your bigger mind and your smaller mind in square to one another. So one of the things that you may be feeling really called to do underneath this energy, and I encourage you to absolutely take advantage of it, is to course correct. Okay, course correct here. Something is not in alignment. Something is not in flow. So just create a little course correction. Now, this really beautiful metaphor, an example was shared with me this week, and it made me think about this Jupiter Mercury, is they were talking about how in the water, the captain's job is to just kind of bonk the ship a little bit, bonk that wheel a little bit, and make sure that it is staying on course to where it's going to go. I'm not a captain, so it probably has more than just that job, okay? But it is to keep the ship going where it needs to go. So this Mercury Jupiter energy is very much so like that. It's just your little, oh, hold on, I need to adjust here a little bit to keep me on track with where I'm going. It's this real realignment. And sometimes what happens is, because it's Mercury energy, new information has come in or a new sensation has come in, and you're having to realign yourself with that particular information or energy. Because remember, I thought this was so beautiful. He said, there's a lot of ways to take a ship to Florida, but I want to go on the path that I want to go. And I thought, oh man, that makes so much sense, getting that realignment in place. So again, you may be feeling that realignment energy up and in your energy right now. Now, another thing that you can do, depending on if you like it or you're interested in, this is a great time to look at all of your gadgets. This is mercurial energy. Look at your gadgets. Is everything on the same time? This is a great time before we get into the week. Do you need to do an update on something? Or are you going to get into the week and you're trying to start and you're trying to see your appointments and do what you need to do, and then Zoom is like, oh, I need an update. No, update it now. Do it. Turn on all your stuff. Let it update right here, right away, okay? All right, now the next event that we've got going on Monday is that we're going to see the South Node enter Libra, the North Node is going to enter Aries. Now, this is where we had some questions pop up from last week where people were like, wait a minute, I thought the nodes moved on the 17th. And in fact, you're absolutely correct. The true node is what is moving here on the 17th. The mean node is what moved on the 12th. So these two moved just a little bit out of sync with each other. So you're correct. The mean node is the one that moved on, but the true node is the one that is coming into that Aries Libra energy. But like I said, now both mean and true are in the Aries and Libra axes. So we're here, guys. We're in the work, okay? And we're looking at moving away from so much of that Libran quality that is so we. It's the we, it's the us, it's the everything has to be fair for all of us. It's the I just smile and compromise even when I don't want to. And we're moving more towards those Aries qualities, which is like, this is where I want to go. Which again, when we say Aries energy, I want to just be so clear. It is not permission to go out to be malicious and disgustingly selfish. It's not that. But when we do work with Aries energy, it is about the I. It is about the me. So it's very easy. You know, you start saying, this is what's right for me, and people around you are like, you're selfish. It is easy to be mistaken in this vibration of standing up for what you want, being clear, right? Aries is ruled by Mars. This is a clear energy. This is what I want. This is where I'm going. It's easy to be mistaken for being selfish. So this is where you maybe have some work to practice here as well. You know, what is a selflessness and an assertion, and what is pure selfishness where you're like, I don't care if anybody eats, I'm going to eat. That is maybe not the best example of this Aries energy. But where have you been going along with something and you're like, oh yeah, that would be great. That would be fine. Yeah, I can get on board with that. And deep in your gut, you're like, I don't want to do this at all. I don't want this. What I want is this. And by telling the truth in that Aries vibration and moving towards that in that North Node way, the truth still sets you free. The truth still sets you free, right? Tell the truth about who you are and what you want, and watch how that can adjust your situation. So those nodes are on the move as we speak here on Monday, okay? Now, before we're going to be done with this Monday energy, then we've got a new moon happening at 24 degrees of Cancer. Now, this particular moon is also in conversation with Pluto, with Neptune, with some Jupiter energy. So this is a new moon where we're planting our seeds of intention to begin something new, okay? And it doesn't mean that you have to begin something that is brand new, never been here, never seen it before, but it is that you're asking to begin, even in terms of a fresh perspective, something in your emotional life, something that you're trying to call into your life. Now, one of the things that you're calling in with this new moon in Cancer energy is something very domestic or very home. And this is the first home we live in, right? When we get to the little spirit suit and we get here into our meat suit, this is the first home we have. So you're looking to create security. You're looking to call in things about what nourishes you, what makes you feel secure, what brings you a settling, right? You have that really delicious, good, strong foundation. Support. Who is around you? Who are you calling into your life to support you and support the direction of what you want to go? On a very practical level, for some of you, it may honestly be that this is the time where in this next 4 weeks, okay, you find home. Like you find something that is just home, and it is that sinking, settling, I can root down here and start something kind of energy. It's absolutely brilliant. Now, I do want to call out just for a minute, though, the aspects that are happening because this moon is opposing Pluto. It is. So, you know, we've got Pluto over here in the energy of Capricorn, and it's retrograde at that. Okay. So Pluto's been in Capricorn since 2008. It's been tearing down structures, ideas, ideals, the way that you author your own story, the acceptance that you are to author your own story in alignment with the universal vibration so that your chart lights up in its fullness to do all of the things that it needs to do, right? But what can come with that, opposing this new moon where you're saying, I need support, I need foundation, I need to find what is home for me. It can, first of all, feel opposing, like you are going in opposite directions. Your insides are going in opposite directions. Maybe it feels like your outside world or people around you are going in opposite directions. Now, you can continue to see it as Plutonian, hard, fight, power struggle, right? You can continue to see it that way, or you can tip the scale just a little with that Pluto retrograde and just look back to the stories that have guided your life. They have been the authority in your life. And that includes, you guys, old ideas. What are old ideas, old habits, old beliefs that have previously run your life? And now, as Pluto is retrograde, the empowerment is in seeing where you can surrender the power struggle, that old idea is maybe not good and delicious and current for you anymore. You surrender to that, and then you can create this integration, because with an opposition, we want to find the sweet spot in the middle. You don't want to find ways to pull. Could it be this? Could it be this? Could it be this? You want to find the integration of both of those sides. So the old story, and hey, that doesn't work for me anymore, Pluto retrograde, with the new moon in Cancer, and I need support, I need a new foundation. When those two meet in the middle, first of all, what happens is some of the fear, some of the anxiety about the changes that you're calling into your life, some of the people you need to have in your life, your finances, some of these things begin to dissolve because you see the way the old story won't work, but you allow the new story to begin to drive you in the direction of creating security, creating nourishing, situations and environments around yourself. It's a really lovely energy. Now, all of this paired with everything else that's happening on Monday could feel like a hodgepodge of energy. And I really think that pours over into Tuesday as well, because a lot of this is bringing you, back home to stand on your own feet. We've got a lot of cardinal dynamic on the table, which is stand, begin, stand, go on your own feet, and then create an interdependence instead of a codependence on others. So it's really a delicious kind of energy that we're working with, but I do think it requires a little bit of work for us, because it's busy, my beautiful friends. It's busy, okay? All right, so hopefully that makes a little bit of sense, and hopefully you're looking for where that 24 degrees of Cancer is happening in your chart, because if you've got a planet, a point, which would be one of the nodes, an angle, which is one of the 4 angles in your chart, or if you work with asteroids or fixed stars, if you've got something at 24 of Cancer, you're having a light up, you're having an experience of this particular energy that is very personal to you, and you want to understand that. Now, if you don't know how to find any of that, I've got a video in my description box down below on how to find the planets or active transits in your chart. Click down there, peek it out, okay? Now, when we get into the evening time on Monday, now the moon is going to go void of course. Okay, time to rest, okay? Through the late night on Monday, it is time to rest. It's time to bring things to a close. The energy is not about pushing forward. It is about integrate, assimilate, let go of, finish projects that are at your fingertips or need to be done. One of the things, depending on your work life, depending on how your life is set up, maybe one of the things you're doing is having a really delicious good night routine to bring yourself to bed so that you can wake up tomorrow rested, refreshed, rejuvenated. If it's a meditation, if it's a little nap, if you work, late night, maybe you're just taking a little walk, or you're getting a good lemon water, or whatever sparks your system. Okay. Now, late in the night, we're going to see the moon move into the energy of Leo. So the good news is hopefully you've refreshed and everything under that void of course moon. And then as you're getting up on Tuesday, it's like, ta-da, Leo moon to the rescue. There's some fun, there's some playfulness, there's some energy taking a risk, but instead of it just being your once a month time, I think, to say, okay, where can I play a little bit? I've been taking myself and others and life just too seriously. You know, you're like looking for the whole meaning of life in a blade of grass, as like one does. You're like, I need to lighten up a little bit. You know what I mean? But instead of it just being that fun, playful energy, I actually think that the new moon on in Leo is calling us on Tuesday and Wednesday to speak up. This is an expressive energy. You have to take a risk in some way, because emotionally, if you do not, it's like, how can you expect people to know you if you aren't making yourself known, right? One of these things, and I walk into this in my life, I will expect my husband to do something, right? And my spiritual teacher, she calls me on it every time. Every time I'll be like, I can't believe he didn't, fill in the blank. And she's like, well, did you ask him? And I'm like, no, but, and she stops me right there every single time. She's like, no, not no, but you didn't open your mouth and ask for what you needed, and in that action, and when we see that with this moon and Leo, it's like emotionally, what do you need? What do you need? Where do you need to ask for help? What do you need to, do you need to ask for support? Do you need to ask for somebody else to do the laundry for a minute because you just need 5 seconds to sit down? What is it that you need? But either way, the moon and Leo, I beat it to death. Ask for what you need and say it with your chest out, because Leos don't say it like this. They say it like this, right? And we all know Leo season is happening this week. Leos, I see you. Okay, I've seen you for 6 weeks. I know your birthday's coming. Okay, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going to rock with that Leo energy and everything that has come in. It's very, very potent. But when we get to Thursday, we come in Thursday and we have got the sun in this lovely trine to Neptune. Okay, sun trine Neptune. Now, first of all, I think this is really interesting energy because the sun is that light, heat, life, and vitality. So you are motivated. In some way, you're motivated to be seen, to be heard, to be known. You want to be known for your own being in this sun energy. And this portion of your chart wants to be known at this time. Now, the sun is in a trine to Neptune, who is in Pisces. So what happens is these two come together. Oh, it's delicious. It is so wonderfully, wonderfully creative. So this is also going to be an aspect that we see repeated again, though, November 17th. So I want you to take a little note, put it in your journal or however you keep track of your life. What did you do? What did you start? What were you working on? What did you create? What are you going back to? Right? Did you start a project like a year ago and now you're like, oh, I put that down. I can't believe I put that down, but it's time. I feel like I should pick it back up. I should finish this watercolor painting. I should finish this thing that brings me joy and lights me up and organizes my life. I quit that fitness routine. I really need to go back to it because it was working. You know what I mean? So whatever it is, this is a creative time for you to enjoy what you're doing and go back to it. But it is also such a wonderful energy for finding creative solutions to old problems, old challenges, old relationship situations, whatever it is. This brings this creative spark to the surface that you can take advantage of. This is still Neptunian energy. So what we have the opportunity to see here is you taking advantage of what and where you can surrender, where you can forgive, where you can amend, where you can see where there was maybe some childishness, some sensitivity, some hidden little dig that was made, right? And release these things. Neptune is still absolutely phenomenal for the healing release that it can provide. And I will tell you that for me, you guys know, like I go to the gym all the time. And one of the ways that I release and I process emotions at the gym is, yes, I lift and I lift pretty heavy, but I dance and I move and let Neptune speak through me, speak a healing through me with every stretch that I do. I call those emotions up and welcome them in that gym time or that session to come through me as a release. Let me tell you what, some of the other people at the gym, they're not doing that, right? But this is my creative way to fit the ideal of healing and surrender in a way that seems very practical to everybody else, okay? So whatever your creative way of release, forgiveness, and movement is, transition, take it up, take it on. Now, we're also going to see the moon go void, of course, later in the day. So we're again resting. And I really am telling you, when the moon is void, of course, in my experience, if you are trying to start something new or you're trying to push something forward, like the energy is not clear, the moon's not talking to anything, so it's kind of just this place here. It's pure lunar land, which is absolutely fantastic in and of itself. But when you're trying to get something done with a fair amount of clarity, or have this really important conversation, there's kind of no structure for the moon. I would highly suggest as well, when the moon is void, of course, and you're hearing me say this, or it pops up on your phone or however, put your phone down. Get away from, spend an hour, spend 2 hours if you can, away from all electronic devices. Let them go, let them be, just bring yourself down, okay? Later in the evening, we will see, in the afternoon, we will see the moon move into the energy of Virgo, which I think is absolutely beautiful because, first of all, we've had a lot going on. We've had a lot going on this week. So a moon getting into Virgo is your once a month chance to check in on where you need to emotionally get organized, where emotionally you need to go, okay, hold on. What are the priorities, right? And this is below the level of thought. It's not the intellect. It's the check-in. This is an earth moon. Check in with your body. Check in with where you're at. What's the priority? Is that left heel telling you it needs a little bit of attention? Check in with when you step into a particular room into your house. Where are you hearing, this is a priority, or hey, this is a priority for us to eat this, to move this way, to have wellness in this way. Use the time when the moon changes signs in your chart to stand with that moon and bring in those strong qualities of that sign. Virgo is absolutely phenomenal at discernment. It will tell you where something needs organization or healing, okay? Now, the other thing I think that we can never miss with Virgo energy is the presence of actions that are of service. This should be to be of service, right? So one of the ways that you can think about this is, even if you are single, okay? You're like single like a Pringle, which they're not single, by the way. So anyway, if you're single, you are and have the ability to be on a daily basis of service to your own life energy by the ways and routines that you use to support yourself. So even if it is at the level of it's just me and the plastic plants, where are you being of service to yourself? As the moon is traveling through Virgo, do you need to dust your plastic plants? Because yes, they are an inanimate object, but they get dusty too, right? And in this way, you are cleaning and taking care of it, making sure you are of service to your own space so that it can be the very best that it can be. Now, we extend this out, of course, when we invite more people or more entities into our life. When you are the caretaker of a pet, of children, of family, whatever, when you take care of you and you make sure you're solid and that your routines are organized and built in a way to be of service to your wellness and to your life force and to your health and nutrition, you become the best that you actually have to offer for the people, places, and things in front of you. And that in itself is an act of service. And from there, you can open and pour your cup into someone else to help them be the best that they can be. Because Virgo just doesn't want the best for them. It's not like, keep all the best for me, greedy, right? Virgo wants the best, people to have the best. That's why on the unevolved or the crispy version of Virgo energy, it can get nitpicky. We can get very, very nitpicky, but instead what you want to do is use that to not be nitpicky and analysis paralysis and you're not perfect enough and be critical of yourself and others. You want to fill yourself up in a means of service so that you can be of service to those around you as well. Okay. What a beautiful energy. The moon's coming back to Virgo. Okay, on Friday, you're going to have that Virgo energy to travel with you most of the day, and then we'll kick back into gear as we are getting into the evening with some of our other planets. So now what we're going to see, first of all, is we're going to see the sun dipping down over here, getting in this crisp opposition to Pluto, who's retrograde. Okay. Sun opposing Pluto. What we're happening right now, what this is, and I talk about this a couple times every year, I feel like, is that when you've got Sun Pluto, you're wanting to do something, be something, go somewhere, move in a particular direction. And sometimes you have to have a breakdown before you have a breakthrough. You do, we do, people do, right? We are not just these infinite energies. When we are in human form, there is an endlessness to us. There is an exhaustion to the experience that we are having. So sometimes, whether it be in the mental space, whether it be in the emotional space, whether it be in the physical space, the psychological space, we get tired. It's a lot to be on the growth and consciousness plan as a human. It is, because I promise you, our fellow man is not all trying to grow in consciousness. It's not. So when you choose to embark in this way of life, whether it be through astrology, psychotherapy, whatever it is that you do, stay awake. Sometimes the journey is exhausting, right? Or sometimes you've been working towards something that you want, and you're just at the place in the journey where you're a little bit tired. I've got to have the privilege of moving my entire family to another country, everything, all of our whole life. And it has been beautiful. And there were days where it was I just needed a rest. There were a lot of details to take on. So it's like that. So with Sun Pluto, truly, sometimes you have to have a breakdown before you have a breakthrough. And then you're able to just arise out of this thing in that delicious sweet spot, really, really empowered, really refreshed. Whatever it was that had you tired, it's like you've been able to overcome, and it is such an empowering energy. And I will remind you that nothing lasts forever. Okay, if you're tired, it won't last forever. Right? Okay. All right. Good. So we got that Sun Pluto opposition. Then we're going to see the sun. The sun is busy because then the sun is going to be sitting in square to the nodes. So when the sun, how I want to show up, how I want to shine, is in square to the destiny points, who just got here, by the way. The sun's having like an immediate conversation with these destiny points in your chart. And what it's doing is sun's looking at Libra and saying, hey, you know what? This level of Libraing, this is too much. This group, this tribe, these relationships, this level of compromise, it's too much and it won't work anymore. So you have to do something about it, right? You have to do something about it. You have to stop living in the compromised vibration, which doesn't mean that your south node isn't useful, okay? But it's also looking at, the sun is looking at that Aries north node, and it's saying, stand up. Stand up. What do you want? Who are you? What are you about? What are your values? Get clear. Get Mars. Get clear on what it is, where you're going, and what you're willing to take a stand on. Because then, in this beautiful aspect arrangement, what your Libra south node that is overly developed, right? You know how to do this 100 times over. What you can do with it, especially because the ruling planet of Libra, Venus, is retrograde in Leo, you will speak up and say, these are my goals, these are my values, Aries. And what I found out is that this group or this tribe does not fit me, and I can't travel with them, but I can ask for support, which we've been working on support since the new moon on Monday. I can ask for support for people, places, and things that are traveling the same direction that I am. I can say I'm tired and I need a little bit of support. That is an appropriate use of the Libra energy, and naturally will create the sweet spot of integration of the me with the we. I'm not depending on you, or I'm not compromising for you at the Libra, right? And just letting you or the we decide everything that I do. And I'm not so far over here into Aries that it's just all about me. It's here's who I am. Here's who I need help. Here's the people. Here's the support I need. And we come together and it becomes an interdependence. It's a really lovely energy, all driven by the sun, all driven at the point of the sun, because you want to be known. You want to be known by a different name and in a different way, okay? I love it. All right, so before we're going to close out Friday, now we've got Mercury in the mix of all of this. We have got Mercury in a trine to Chiron. Oh, delicious. Okay, so first of all, Mercury trine Chiron, I think of talk therapy, right? Like you need to talk, you have to say things. And that's a big theme that we're experiencing this week. And it's only going to get louder as Leo season rolls in, okay? But it's also the loving hand of the universe underneath your butt, holding you up, saying, it's okay. Talk about that. Talk about that thing that you love, that lights you up. Because remember, Chiron is there in Aries. And it is you in a new identity. You're the same person, right? But Chiron has been working on your identity, your beliefs about who you could be. So you're not seeing yourself just through the wound, or just as a wound, or just as the selfish version of yourself, or just as the great version of yourself. Chiron has really brought, I think, a lot of healing through pain, right? Pain is the touchstone of growth, right? There's been some pain you've taken on, and you can see it differently. You see the people in your life differently. You see that relationship with your mother, with your father, with your sister, with that past employer. You can see it through a little bit of a different lens, and it's not just the wounded lens anymore. And this is allowing an absolutely different kind of empowerment, but it also allows you to tell the truth from that space of freedom, right? Think about it. When you're not carrying this wound and this hurt, or it's not, the wound is there, but it's scabbed over a bit, so it's not so vulnerable. So now you can move and live with the wound and even teach about it. You have space to move your energy in ways that are more authentic to you, right? So one of the things I think of in this kind of talk therapy, lovely new conversation energy is, when you talk to somebody, let's just say about astrology, you talk to somebody about astrology and they're like, oh, yeah, that's cool. I mean, I don't know too much about it, but that's super cool. And I just love that you're into it, right? That conversation. That's okay, but that's not that good, deep, delicious, healing conversation, as opposed to when you talk to someone else who's into astrology and they're like, oh yeah, listen, I just had a Chiron return, and let me tell you what, and then you're having this conversation where literally you're healing, you're feeling, the conversation is lighting you up, and you're like in the depths of it. That is what Mercury Chiron has available for you. It is, ooh, wait a minute, let me be bringing in content that lights me up. It literally lights my conversation and my communication up. I want those conversations for you this week. So use that Mercury Chiron. But the trick is, you got to tell the truth about what you want. You got to tell the truth about who you are. And this gets bigger when we're moving out just from our homes and I like salad or I don't like salad. I'm a vegetarian. I'm not a vegetarian, right? When it's like, I feel this way about the world and its political or geopolitical or economic stance. You've got to find your realignment with the people that you feel like you can speak freely, because as you speak, you hear, you teach, and who you teach is you. You need to know who you are and what you think, okay? Woo, friends. Okay, let's get into Saturday. My God, I hesitate to even talk about Saturday because we know what's going on. Happy birthday, Leo. Happy birthday, Leos. I'm telling you, I have seen you coming for the last 6 weeks. I love the posts. They go up every year. It's like 6 weeks before Leo season. Here come the Leos, and we know you're coming. And don't we love your big say it with your chest out? Guess what? Leo's here, bold energy. And for everybody else, this is Leo season in your chart. This is your season of say it with your chest out. Love big, be generous, take a risk, play. Consider these Leo energies over this next 4 weeks. Now, we've also got right behind that Venus stepping into retrograde in this Leo vibration. So you are going to be reviewing the people, places, and things in your life that smash out your Leo energy, right? Or how you let that happen to you. Where are you stamping out your own creativity, or you're talking to somebody, you're engaging with somebody, and they're stamping out your creativity, and you are standing there letting it happen. That is what we're going to be looking at during this retrograde. This is a big love kind of energy. So go get the Leo section of your chart while we are experiencing this season. And remember, Leo is fixed fire. So stand in your fire as a leader in your own life and a leader in that particular area of your chart, okay? After all of this excitement, we are going to see the moon move void, of course. And I don't know, I think when Leo season comes on, we need just a minute to integrate all of that beautiful, big energy. So rest, review, revive yourself, and think about what you've experienced this week. This is something I encourage you to do, because it's not, you don't just come and listen to your astrology and be like, oh, boom, 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 boom. Integrate. What did you hear? What makes sense? How is it manifesting? And then you have to make a space to process the day-by-day experiences that you're having, okay? When we get to Sunday, early AM, we will see the moon move into Libra. Check in. How are you relating to other people? Where is your balance between you and other people? And let me tell you what, one of the things that I have found for me, really particularly, is like, if I really want to know the truth of how my insides are doing, where I'm really at, like as a human being, I can look at the quality of my relationships around me and how I'm relating to other human beings, because other human beings are just the universe in human form. Are you able to look at other human beings and see the full and complete presence of the universe, perfect in every way? Or are you seeking to change them, change them, change them, change them? This is a phenomenal time for you, Sunday, to be looking at where you're at in the balance of your relationships, but also look practically. Do you have too much we, right? The South Node's over here as well. Do you have too much we going on? You're considering everybody's feelings, everybody's opinion, and don't want to have confrontation. Well, you might need to restore a little internal balance, okay? And also, it's Libra. It's ruled by Venus. Do something beautiful for yourself, okay? All right, then we are going to see that same Chiron that had this gorgeous conversation with Mercury head into its retrograde all the way until December 27th, okay? As Chiron goes retrograde here, review and step into where you need healing, your self-healing, where you need development in your self-help, where a wound is still catching you up. And let me tell you what, you guys, seriously, I'm going to get off of this live and go meet with my spiritual teacher. Right? So I still meet with her every week and get that eyeball to eyeball, sitting down, telling the truth, experience with her. And there are things that still catch me up, right? I'm relatively free in my spirit and in my energy, but there are still things that catch me up. And this is part of the human experience of unfolding our charts, is having the conversation, but also having the victories. Where is that not catching you up anymore, right? That particular behavior, that particular attitude, that particular person's not catching you up anymore. And instead you can also speak out loud and receive your healing and see where you're not seeing everything just through the lens of the wound. That is really a Chiron retrograde kind of energy, okay? As we are going to move later in the day and close out Sunday, we have got Mercury on the roll again, squaring Uranus, okay? So first of all, I tend to give you guys the positive of a lot of things because I think there's great ways to use these aspects. But when Mercury is squaring Uranus this particular time, first of all, I want to take you back to February 21st. What happened? What came out of nowhere? What was a surprise? Okay, this is very surprising energy in the late morning, moving into the rest of the day, where something could be a little bit of a curveball. And I think that you are not seeing it. There is a potential for you to not be seeing it as open-minded as you need to see it to be able to navigate the situation that presents itself to you, okay? Because what's going on is, sometimes we have to celebrate the fact that what we thought was going to be the most terrible thing ever, what worked out, what didn't work out for us really worked out for us. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit of that. So to work this aspect, I would really invite you and encourage you to be as open-minded and as flexible today with your thinking, especially old ideas and old stories, which doesn't mean you got to go try everything new all the time, but step back, get into that different seating section. You guys know, if you've been here for a while, I talk about it, that you're on the soccer field, because now I'm in Spain, you're on the football field and you're right up close to all the players. You can see them sweating. It's so delicious, right? But you cannot really see the field from here. You just see sweaty people. Okay, so you want to get to the nosebleed seats so that you get a full view of what's going on, and you may see that what you were thinking is not actually what's going on. This opens your mind and you're able to navigate and make some different decisions. It's really a useful skill. So on Sunday and moving it to Monday, ask yourself, am I on the field or am I in the nosebleed seats? Because I need the best seats in the house to understand what's going on. All right, my absolutely beautiful friends, busy week. Let me know in the comment section down below how this is manifesting for you, because there's a lot of changing. We moved to Aries, Libra. There is a ton going on, and we are beginning that lesson cycle together. So let me know how it's panning out for you in the comment section down below. I love you guys. Have an absolutely beautiful